Howdy, howdy. It's Godfather 916. I'm trying to get back into the saddle, y'all. Dun-dun. Recently, I've noticed some people I know and friends and family members who are cutting ties with friends and family. They feel they're misunderstood and feel helpless to the point that they have no other choice than to cut the pain. The problem is sometimes in conversation, it's very possible that you could be missing important information. See, this happens frequently when we're being attacked. Angry and hurt, we inadvertently block important information from the other side because we all listen with filters on. These filters started developing when we were children. What we heard our parents say and what they actually said, or another person said, could be as wide as Mississippi. One of the tools when I was married that they use in couple therapy is have each person speak, and then the therapist goes, "Did you hear what they said?" And sometimes the other side is asked to repeat what they've said. This is very effective because, again, we filter out stuff. Sometimes we go, "Oh, I know what they're going to say," so we just shut down. We're anticipating what they say. I do that sometimes. And often I'm wrong. Don't want to hear it. So if this is you, and you don't have to be the person, say, cutting people out of your life, but if you have communication problems, when you get home, make a journal, write down what you think you've heard them say. Put pencils down. A few days later, go back and reread what you wrote. If there are holes or things that don't make sense in what you wrote down, that filter. That's the information. That's the secret sauce that you were missing. You can go back, if you like, to that person days later and ask them what they said, apologize how you reacted. But if it's still painful, you may have to wait longer. We're all different. People hear differently. We're all going in the same place, but how we get there, we'll arrive there at different times, not the same time. Whenever you meet with the other party, the friends, to have this discussion, to hopefully clear things up, make sure you have some water, a bottle of water. It's very important to have water nearby. You'll find water at the courthouse. You'll find water in important meetings. Water is a very important tool. Not only does it allow us to clear our throats, it also allows us to reset. If you sense that you're losing control, take a sip of water. Take a moment. Take a sip of water, then wait. Wait before you speak. And despite all the hurt, rage, and anger that you feel towards this important person, it's important that you allow the person to complete their sentence. I know, yes, you know where they're going, you can anticipate where they're going, but I challenge you to have that sip of water and listen and let them speak without interruption. And again, a minute you feel that rage returning, take a sip of water. See, sometimes we can control the environment of the room by how we act. If I'm reacting, you're going to react to my reaction. If my volume goes up, your volume goes up. And what happens is both of us lose control and very little of what we say is heard. It's a practice. If there's not water there, have a water for the other person. Just put it out on the counter. The water's for you or that other person. Try not to be so quick to cut people out of your life. You know, if you're having issues with many people, it may not be them. I know you're like, some of you are going, what are you saying, Rodfather? But it's possible that your expectations of that person may be too high. It's possible. Not saying it is, but it's possible. Another tool you can take is, if you can, and this is very important because not everybody can do this, ask a few close friends that you trust with the truth. Ask them, what are the things they like about you? What are the things that you do to irritate them? And what do they believe that you could do better in relationships? Now, this is really important. Reassure them that you trust them and won't attack them today, later. Arm yourself from the truth that you've requested to get back at them. So be that person of your word. If you're not able to do that, continue to journal. And if you feel the walls closing in on you, consider therapy, a professional. I swear by them. Not your pastor, not your mom, not your friends. Yes, they give good advice. Even a Rodfather gives good advice at times, but I'm not a trained professional. Therapists are trained to help unlock blockage in our lives that impede our growth as human beings. Stuff that we're just stuck, we just can't get over. They are not feeling you with witchcraft. Somebody told me, my mother told me, because a lot of people of color, Black people, are afraid to go to psychiatrists. You know, they'd rather go to the local witch doctor who knows nothing. God created therapists, psychologists, just as they've created doctors, nurses, and they are trained to not tell us what we need to do, but offer alternatives based on what we tell them. See, if you're unwilling to examine your role in the damaged relationship, then you're destined to repeat the problems in future relationships. Someone said, if you don't complete all the courses in the first grade, you don't get the second grade. That's true in our personal growth. You're one way at 20, another way at 30, another way at 60. And if you haven't used those tools that happen over time, then the problems you have, then you're destined to repeat them. Because, see, we absolutely have no control over another person. But we do have the ability to control how we react to others if we choose. It's a choice. No one makes us act that way. We choose to. Don't you love when people say, well, this is just who I am? They have to take it. But you know what? You do have control. Because you're not likely to cuss out your parents or your boss. So that thing about, well, that's just how I am and people have to deal with it. No, that's not who you are. That's a choice you've made. Through the years, particularly as I've gotten older, My life has gotten easier by just accepting people for who they are, not for what they could be or to make me comfortable, just as they are. Because people accept me, the crazy Ron father, just as I am. And if I'm not willing to make changes, I'm not, and I assume or assign blame and say, these people are coming after me, then I very well, I will be, I can't say, I'm the problem. Note, if you're with someone who's lost control and you're unable to talk to them, just stop. If they're unwilling to allow you to take your sip of water and take a moment because you're trying to reset, just stop. If this is you, I would tell them to leave. If you're that out of control that you're not unwilling to respect me and saying, listen, I need a minute, then leave. If they're at your home, go to another room. Because what will happen is, if you don't, this will become this, and that will become that. And you'll get louder, and things will get out of control, and nothing will be solved except more anger and more hurt. Our silence, we can actually control, believe it or not, the environment. I work with the public. When they get louder, I get softer. I get so soft to the point that I force them to listen to me. Not screaming at them, getting softer, because they have to strain to hear what I have to say. I, in turn, then have to stop and listen to what they have to say without interruption. And that's difficult for me. This brain runs at 1,000 miles an hour. It may not know where its underwear is, it may not know where my keys are, but my brain runs quickly. But their brain runs at a different speed. And if I'm over talking them, which I do frequently and I'm working on it, I'm disrespecting them. And that leads to nothing because everybody wants to be respected. This is a Ron father. If you know one thing, if you watch another video, is life is too freaking short over the silly stuff. I am wonderfully flawed, like a lot of people, like most of us, working on trying to get better every day. Because the world is beautiful if we choose to enjoy it. If you like what happened here, what I just said or anything, hit that thumbs up. And if you liked the other videos, subscribe, share it with your friends. This is a Ron father. Thank you very much for watching. Life is wonderful. Make it happen. Again, wishing you love, joy, and happiness. Thank you for watching. Bye now.